Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Miami Heat. This rumor is starting to get louder, and now multiple NBA voices are pointing in the same direction. Brian Windhorst believes Miami is the team to watch. Wes Goldberg says the Heat should not be scared of losing depth if it means getting Giannis. People around the league reportedly believe Miami is getting closer to something, and according to Evan Sideri, the Heat may still be the favorite, with a potential package built around Tyler Herro, Kel'el Ware, and multiple draft picks. Now, let's be clear right away. This is not a confirmed trade. Giannis has not been traded. But when this many reports, rumors, and league conversations start pointing toward Miami, you have to pay attention, because if Giannis really ends up with the Miami Heat, the entire Eastern Conference could change overnight. The biggest name in this entire conversation is obviously Giannis Antetokounmpo. For years, Giannis has been the face of the Milwaukee Bucks. He brought them a championship. He became a two-time MVP. He became one of the most dominant players in the NBA. But now, with Milwaukee's future looking uncertain, the rumors around Giannis are starting to get serious, and one destination keeps coming up again and again: Miami. According to a post from Heat Central, Brian Windhorst believes Giannis wants to be in Miami. Windhorst mentioned that Miami is the team to watch, and he pointed to the idea that the Heat have pieces that could be used in a major trade. He brought up Tyler Herro, draft picks, and the possibility that Miami could make a real push. Again, this does not mean a trade is done, but when Brian Windhorst is talking about Miami as a team to watch in the Giannis situation, that is not something fans should ignore. From a basketball perspective, Miami makes a lot of sense. The Heat have a strong culture. They have Eric Spoelstra. They have Bam Adebayo. They have a front office led by Pat Riley that is never afraid to chase stars. Miami has always been aggressive when it comes to superstar talent. They built the big three with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. They made a finals run with Jimmy Butler. And now, if Giannis is even remotely available, Miami is exactly the type of franchise that would try to get involved. The fit with Bam Adebayo would be fascinating. Giannis and Bam together defensively would be a nightmare. Switching, rim protection, athleticism, physicality. That front court would be one of the most difficult in the league to score against. Offensively, the spacing would be a question. But when you are talking about a player like Giannis, you figure it out. Superstars change the entire structure of your team, and Miami knows that. On-screen text, Giannis plus Bam equals defensive nightmare. Now, the biggest name being discussed in a potential Miami package is Tyler Herro. According to Evan Sideri, teams have recently shown interest in trading for Tyler Herro, and that is important because a Giannis trade may not be a simple two-team deal. It could become a multi-team structure. That means Miami may not simply send Herro directly to Milwaukee. Instead, a third team could get involved. Miami could send Tyler Herro to another team that wants him. That team could send assets to Milwaukee. And Miami could use that structure to create a stronger package for Giannis. This is where the rumor becomes more realistic, because sometimes in the NBA, the team trading away the superstar does not want the obvious player in return. Maybe Milwaukee does not want Herro as the centerpiece. Maybe they want draft picks, young players, financial flexibility, or a different type of asset. That is why a multi-team deal could matter. And according to Sideri, the Heat's potential package could be built mainly around Tyler Herro, Kel'el Ware, and multiple draft picks. That is not a small offer, but the question is, would that be enough for Giannis? Another post from Heat Central, citing HP Basketball, said that people around the league believe Miami is getting closer to a deal involving Giannis. Now, this is important to explain carefully. The report says this is not necessarily coming directly from the Miami side or the Milwaukee side. It is coming from people around the league. That means this is league speculation. It is not official confirmation. But it shows how people inside NBA circles are starting to view Miami as a real threat in the Giannis race. And sometimes that is how these things start. First, it is whispers. Then it becomes league chatter. Then insiders start talking. Then teams start calling. And suddenly, a rumor that sounded crazy begins to feel more realistic. That is why this story is getting attention, because this is not just random fan talk anymore. Multiple people around the NBA are now connecting Giannis to Miami. Now, some Heat fans are worried about one big thing: depth. If Miami trades for Giannis, they would probably have to give up multiple pieces. Tyler Herro could be involved, Kel'el Ware could be involved, draft picks could be involved, other rotation players could be involved too. So the concern is simple: would Miami destroy its depth just to get one superstar? But Wes Goldberg from Locked on Heat had a very strong response to that. According to the Heat Central Post, Goldberg basically said he does not care about the depth argument. His point was that this Heat team was not good enough. They did not reach the level they wanted. So why be so protective of a depth that did not make you a contender? And honestly, that is a real argument. Depth is important, but star power wins in the NBA. When you have a chance to get a player like Giannis, you do not say no just because you are scared of losing role players. You have to ask yourself, are we trying to be comfortable, or are we trying to win a championship? Now, from Milwaukee's side, this would only happen if the Bucks believe the Giannis era is reaching a breaking point. Trading Giannis would be a franchise-changing decision. This is not just another All-Star. This is the greatest player in Bucks history. So Milwaukee would need a massive return. They would need young talent. They would need draft picks. They would need a future plan. And they would need to believe that keeping Giannis no longer gives them a clear path to another championship. That is why this situation is so complicated. Milwaukee does not have to rush. But if Giannis ever makes it clear that he wants a different situation, the Bucks cannot wait too long and lose leverage. That is why teams like Miami are watching closely. Because if the door opens even a little bit, Pat Riley is the type of executive who will try to walk through it. According to Evan Sidery, the Heat continue to be viewed as a favorite for Giannis. That does not mean they are guaranteed to get him, but it does mean Miami is one of the teams being talked about seriously. And when you connect all the pieces, the story becomes interesting. Brian Windhorst says Miami is the team to watch. HP Basketball says people around the league believe Miami is getting closer. Evan Sidery says the Heat are still a favorite, with a package built around Herro, Kelly Ware, and draft picks. Wes Goldberg says Miami should not be scared of losing depth if Giannis is the prize. That is a lot of smoke. And in the NBA, when there is that much smoke, fans start asking one question: is there fire? Here's my honest take. Giannis to Miami is not something I would call confirmed, not even close, but I would not ignore it either. Miami has the motivation. They need another star. They have a win now culture. They have Bam Adebayo. They have Pat Riley, and they have trade pieces that could at least start a conversation. The biggest question is whether Milwaukee would actually accept a package built around Herro, Kelly Ware, and picks. If I am Milwaukee, I probably want more, a lot more, because this is Giannis Antetokounmpo. But if Miami can involve a third team, move Herro for assets Milwaukee likes, and build a bigger package, then things get more interesting. For the Heat, this is the type of move that could immediately change everything. They would go from a team searching for direction to one of the most dangerous teams in the East. Giannis and Bam would be terrifying defensively. Spoelstra would find ways to make it work. And Miami would once again become one of the biggest stories in the NBA. But the cost would be huge, and that is the risk. When you chase a superstar, you usually have to pay a superstar price. So now I want to know what you think. Should the Miami Heat go all in for Giannis? Would you trade Tyler Herro, Kelly Ware, and multiple draft picks to bring Giannis to Miami? And if Giannis joins Bam Adebayo in South Beach, would the Heat become championship contenders again? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more NBA rumors, trade news, and offseason updates, make sure to subscribe, because if Giannis really becomes available, this Miami Heat story could get crazy fast.